Good morning and welcome to the Free Daily Coaching Hangout. Your daily hangout for mindset, tech tips, and everything attraction marketing. We're here every morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Sit back or jump in. Either way, remember to have some fun. Here at freedailycoaching.com.
All right. Good morning and welcome to the Free Daily Coaching Podcast. If you're here live listening into the podcast, I want to welcome you to our premiere episode. Now that we've got all of our technical difficulties worked out, we're here to broadcast for you every day live. If you want to come and watch the video broadcast, the actual webinar of the daily podcast, please come and join us at www.freedailycoaching.com. On this morning's episode of Free Daily Coaching, I want to go back and talk about something that I started with. And for the rest of this week, we're going to focus on this topic. And we're going to talk about a daily method of operations. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because of how important a daily method of operations can be in your business. Now, you're going to hear me sometimes talk about the inability to balance work and life, and how sometimes it seems like we're all in over here and doing like 100% full steam ahead on work, and then all of a sudden we're like totally disengaged and we're doing something over here, and then we're all in over here. And that to me is a different type of balance than a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so the reason that I bring that up is because this daily method of operations in the beginning for me was something that got me taking action on a regular basis, right? This is something that allowed me to start to set up a fundamental base of actions and set of actions so that I had some kind of consistency set up. And then what happened is, as my life started to change, as the lifestyle started to change because of the success in business, what I learned to do was take this daily method of operations and start batching it, right? Starting to do things in groups when the activities could be done, A, and B, when I was like feeling it, right? I didn't start to just shoot videos then just to shoot a video, right? But I created a video about something I was passionate about in the moment. And so I started doing things like that so that I could have both the lifestyle and still continue that business success. So I want to tell you about the 7 steps of daily operations, the daily method of operations that I used at the very beginning and really became the base format of what has been my business model the entire way. So if you're in a home-based business, if you're in direct sales, if you're an affiliate marketer, then this 7-step daily method of operations could actually help you out in getting a little bit more organized, getting a little bit focused, and really taking a step forward in your business. So let's go over the 7 steps, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth in each one of these 7 steps. The very first step is personal development, and doing this on a regular basis. And if this is your daily method of operations, then that means that every single day you're going to do something to go ahead and start some type of personal development, whether that means that you're listening to a podcast, whether you're going and watching a video, maybe you're listening to a motivational MP3 on your drive in from the office. Every single day, starting to add in some type of personal development is an effective tool to create the better you, a better version of you, the you that you actually want to become, right? When you see these other people that you aspire to to be like, or you see these people that are in leadership roles or mentors to you, what is the real goal? Well, the goal is to achieve what they've achieved, to become like them, not like them, the person, but like them, the role that they're fulfilling. And how do you do that? You do that by taking consistent action to develop yourself. And when you do that, when you start to develop yourself, you then have the intrinsic value. You have the value inside to share with other people, right? There's something about you. You have leadership qualities. You've learned things about yourself and either gotten rid of obstacles, and so you can share with other people how they could remove those obstacles, or you simply moved on to different forms of communication and better practices in your life and in your business, and so that you can now share that with others. That's why, and in addition, that's like a byproduct to just becoming a better version of you. So number one is a daily commitment to personal development. So let's move on to step 2 in this daily method of operations. Step 2 is content creation, producing some type of content on a regular basis, whether that's a video or a blog post. Maybe you're doing social media campaigns on Instagram or Pinterest. Maybe your social media platform is Facebook. You have to be creating content on a regular basis. And I would say that in the beginning, if you could get used to, and you could get in a pattern of creating content on a daily basis, you're setting yourself up for success. You're setting yourself up to have a habit of creating content on a regular basis, which means that you're out there sharing, right, what you've learned with other people. Let's move on to the third step of the 7 steps in this daily method of operations. Is you have to actually then post and share the content that you create. There's so many people that are writing, they're creating a blog post, maybe they're shot a video, they have an idea for some pictures and memes on Facebook or Instagram, and then they never get shared. They never get posted, right? They never actually get sent out to someone's email list. They never get exposure because they don't actually get posted and shared. And so that's the third step in this daily method of operations, is actually following through. So first off, we started with personal development as step 1. Step 2, we said, okay, we're going to now create something. Now that we poured into ourselves and we started to develop, now let's get into sharing that with others, and let's go and create a piece of content. Now, what do we do once we've created that? We have to now post and share the content. That was the third step in the daily method of operations. What's the fourth step? Well, in my fourth step of daily method of operations, what I found to be absolutely beneficial was to go out and develop new relationships. This needs to be done on a daily basis. And let's say that you're one of those people that has a limited amount of time, and you're working, like I mentioned, and doing batching your work and doing sessions where you're online for certain sessions of time during the day, or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, or however you're breaking that up. Each and every time you need to be developing new relationships, because if you have a home-based business, if you're doing direct sales, affiliate marketing, network marketing, right? What is your entire business based on? Relationships with other people, right? That's really what you're all about, is about helping other people. Whatever it is that you have, a product, a service, whether you're providing coaching, maybe you have a health and wellness product, maybe you provide tools that help other business owners. Well, to meet those other business owners, to help these other people, what do you have to do? You have to develop these new relationships. So this is absolutely essential. Step 4 in doing this on a daily basis. Now, step 5 is going to be a continuation of step 4, right? And it's foster existing relationships. So what does that mean? That means continue to build and develop the relationships that you already have. You already have existing relationships right now in your life, whether they're business relationships, whether they're relationships that you have in your personal life that you could absolutely be fostering. Now, what do I mean by fostering? I mean, to go out and develop those relationships. Maybe there's someone that you're not directly working with right now, today. That means they're not a client. You're not a client of theirs. They're not a client of yours. Maybe they're not a team member. They're not an affiliate of yours, but you have a relationship. You have a working relationship with them. Could you continue to foster that relationship so that it could possibly develop into more? And maybe it won't. Maybe that will never turn into a one-on-one client relationship. However, what if that relationship with that person, that individual, yields results in other areas? What if you're able to glean other things from that relationship? What if that person's an amazing programmer or copywriter and they decide that they want to, you could start trading some skills? What if that person knows other people that might be interested in what it is that you have to offer, your specific skill set? That's why fostering relationships is so essential. So fostering existing relationships is step number 7 in the daily method of operations. It's step number 5 in the 7-step daily method of operations. So what's step number 6? Well, step number 6 is then going back and actually following up with current prospects. Are there current people that you've spoken with, that you've sent links to, that you've been developing a relationship? Maybe you developed a new relationship that's been developing. Maybe you've been fostering an existing relationship and one of those people became prospective clients. Are you actually following up with those prospective clients? Did you go to a meetup last week and talk to someone? Did you meet someone online last week and get them on your newsletter and then you haven't reached back out to them? Are you actually following up with your current prospects? And how vital is that? Well, if you're doing all the work to go out and network, if you're going to do all the work to go out and market and generate new leads, then how essential is it to follow up with the current prospects? Well, it's 100% essential. It's the most essential thing at that point, right? And you can see that these are relatively in relative sequential order, right? And the reason is because you need to do each of these things on a regular basis and relatively in this order so that you can continue to have a good workflow and a workflow of consistent action and then result, action, result, action, result, action, result. And that is huge. So step number 6 is following up with current prospects. And that looks like making a telephone call, sending a one-on-one email, not an automated email, but a personalized email to reach out to that person, and doing that on a one-on-one basis, and how effective that actually can be. Maybe sending them a text message or a private message on Facebook, right? These are all different ways that you could go and follow up with current prospects. And now that's brought us to the final step, the final and 7th step in this daily method of operations that is the foundation for really everything that I started to do. And that 7th step is to have some daily gratitude, and on a daily basis to have that moment of gratitude and have some kind of, whether it's a public or whether it's private, to be able to say to someone else, hey, thank you. Hey, I'm grateful to you for what you've shared with me. Hey, I appreciate you. Right? And to be able to do that on a regular basis, to be able to keep grounded and to be able to remember that this isn't just a project that you're working on your own. Whether you're in a home-based business, whether you're an affiliate marketer, whether you're a direct sales associate, maybe you're a network marketer, maybe you're an online networker. You're not doing this alone. You're doing this with other people. And there's going to be people along the way that are going to teach you some valuable lessons. There's going to be people along the way that are going to enjoy the celebrations with you, that are going to be a part of the journey with you. And what a better way to honor that than to have some daily gratitude. And you can do it by sending private messages. You can do it by doing it publicly on social media. There's so many ways to express that daily gratitude. And what a great way to finish up the process, right? You started the very beginning of the day with personal development on that very first step. You then followed that personal development through with some content creation. Now you've developed you have something to share. At the very minimum, you can share what you just learned when you did some personal development, right? You could share what you just learned, what you learned the day before. From there, you can go then and post and share that content that you created, right? From there, now you've done some back-end work. You've created some passive, some long-term. You've built some consistent. If you do that on a regular basis, you build a consistent platform. You now have a base of material, of content that you can share with others. You now go out and develop new relationships. Go out and meet some new people. Start actually networking. Go out and meet new people that could be possibly prospects for your business, prospects for the product or service that you have available. And if not, they may know people that are. The next step number 5, is fostering those existing relationships that you already have. We have relationships with so many people already that can be fostered, and maybe will turn into something for a business relationship. Maybe they're going to refer some people to you in business. Maybe it's going to be a great relationship with a colleague that you have someone to bounce ideas off of. Who knows what's going to come of the relationship, but I know something will come of it if you actually foster those existing relationships. Which brings us to step number 6, which is follow up with the current prospects. Once we start doing all of this, once we start building these new relationships, once we start creating this content and these mechanisms in which we can actually capture information, the contact information from people, we can actually now start communicating them to them, right? Once we can do that, then we've really harnessed into the power of what we're doing. And that's an essential step. And that's step number 6, which is just simply follow up with current prospects. And then we finish it out with step number 7, having some daily gratitude, spending some time each and every single day in a moment, in several moments of gratitude, of thankfulness, of appreciation for others. I want to thank you for joining us this morning on the Free Daily Coaching Podcast. If you're not familiar, we do broadcast this live over at freedailycoaching.com. You can find a link to the webinar where you can actually go and sign up for the webinar. We enable the questions and answer each and every morning, so that if we have any live questions on the topic, those that are watching live, the live broadcast, can actually chime in and ask us a question. So we do have that available. And I want to make a note on especially on this episode number 1 of the Free Daily Coaching Podcast, that these 7 daily methods of operation were my very first 7 first methods of operations. This was really the base of everything that I've created since then. So if you're familiar with some other of the trainings that I've done, then you'll see that out of this 7 daily methods of operation sprung the 5-5-5 method, which is networking online and using online methods or online tools to use old school methods of networking. So we're going to be covering a few more of these topics in the days to come on the 7 steps of daily method of operations of the free here on the Free Daily Coaching Podcast. So I want to be able to kind of dive into a few more of these topics a little more and talk about some more specifics and how you can start to use these 7 steps on a regular basis to really expand your exposure, to get more results, and to blow up what it is that you're doing. I want to thank you all for joining us here on the Free Daily Coaching Podcast. Remember, if you want to watch us live and watch the broadcast, you can visit us at www.freedailycoaching.com. There you can also find links to our back episodes and some other links to great resources and training tools. We'll see you at freedailycoaching.com. All right. For those that are here on the live webinar, that was the end of the podcast. I want to thank you guys for showing up. We were having some technical difficulties over the last week, so I do apologize for not being able to get on live. There was a couple of days where I was trying to broadcast live and that I was going, but the sound wasn't going. And there may have been a few of you that were over there watching. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming back and supporting us here at the Free Daily Coaching Call. I'm pretty excited about what it is that we're going to be doing. The camera angles are going to be changing, and there's going to be some intros. So on the Free Daily Coaching page, you can now see that there is the link over here to this webinar, as well as in the group over on Facebook. And soon on the Free Daily Coaching page, you'll actually have a link to the podcasts so that you could actually go back and listen to the actual podcast. So thank you guys for joining in. I didn't open it until late this morning, but I will also post the Q&A. I will open up the Q&A each and every morning. So if there is someone that has a question live, I will go ahead and field the question live. However, if you have a question that you want me to cover on Free Daily Coaching, something that you've been wondering about, a marketing question, simply send it over to me on a private message or email me at Bert Bledsoe or at organicbert@gmail.com, and you can simply send it over to me there, or send me a private message over on Facebook and shoot me over your question, and that way you can be featured on one of the Free Daily Coaching podcasts. Thanks again for joining us here at the Free Daily Coaching morning webinar and podcast shoot. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next call.